Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com, and we are going to talk some craziness, but in a very good way. How to be wrong 60% of the time, but still make money from stocks. Maybe it doesn't sound possible, but it totally is, and I'm going to show you exactly how you can accomplish it and the types of things and strategies that you're going to need to focus on as a day trader or swing trader, or really whatever type of trading strategy you're using. This at the core is what you need to be solely focused on. Now let's just get right to it, and I need to set up a little bit of context here. But what is the truth of the markets? Well, the truth of the markets, and this is not really pleasant to hear, this is not the most beneficial thing from a marketing or sales perspective. I mean, it's a lot easier to just sell the dream, talk about, fancy cars and mansions and showing stacks of cash. I get it. I understand marketing and seller psychology. I get all that sort of stuff. Sell the dream. It works. But let's just approach this in a realistic and kind of just, like I said, the truth of the market type of way. And the truth of the markets is that the stock market's goal towards traders is this: I must break you. That's my best Russian accent for you Rocky fans out there. But for those of you who have watched past videos, you've seen this before because I think it does a great job. And from feedback, it seems a lot of you can relate to it. But this is truly what the market is trying to do. It is trying to break you. It is trying to make you give up. It is trying to take your money. It is trying to insert any sort of negative, painful, miserable word that you can put in. That's the truth. That's what the markets are trying to do to you. Now, the key and powerful thing is, I didn't say that's what the markets will do to you. I said that's what the markets are trying to do to you. In other words, you need to train hard to take a punch. Now, to bring this back to trading, and I should note, this is not just for stock trading or just day trading. This could be for Forex trading. It could be for futures trading. It could be for crypto trading, any trading out there, options trading. It's all psychology. And at the end of the day, the markets are trying to break you, but trying. Not guaranteed to do, but if you train hard to take a punch, or the core focal point, you need to learn to manage risk. I get it. Talking about winning trades, talking about making money, talking about anything that implies winning is fun to talk about. But here's the crazy thing. That's actually what this video is going to be about too. Still making money, but in more of a controlled, in more of a sustainable way. So you got to learn to manage risk. And I want you to know that as far as theory is concerned, none of this is theory. In fact, I'm going to show 3 different examples of real life results so that you know that I'm not just, talking things from a textbook perspective. And, well, I think this is how it's supposed to work. No, this stuff plays out in the real world. And like I said, I have a bunch of examples from it, including this one right here, which is totally crazy, but these are my favorite types of comments, testimonials, whatever you want to call it, to get. Not really, it sounds bad on the surface, but it really does display perfectly what the core goal is all about. Train to take a punch and learn to manage risk. So to break down this member's results, you can see they had 7 trades total. And then over there, you see that of those 7 trades, 4 were losing trades, which breaks down to that this person was wrong 60% of the time. Think about that. 10 trades, 6 of them, you're wrong. You lose money. I mean, how's that for the market trying to break you, right? That's a straight up mental game. That's a straight up, a very cruel tactic. I mean, that is right there. The market trying to break you. Oh, wrong again. Oh, wrong again. Oh, you're losing money. That's the hardest part about the market is, in some areas of life, I mean, nobody likes to be wrong, but in some areas of life, you say, I was wrong, and then you just move on with your life. But in the markets, when you're wrong, you lose money. And it's not money, it's just not a video game, right? You don't get to press the reset button. This is not, FDIC insured, so you don't get to call up your, local government and say, hey, I lost some money, but it's all right, it's insured. No, it's gone. So that just compounds the fact of being wrong can be a very rough situation to go through, very mentally taxing. However, in this situation, because this member has trained hard, as you're going to see, they've learned how to take a punch. The market was denied. So they were wrong 60% of the time, yet look at that number right there. After all the dust had settled, they still made over $500. If that doesn't get you motivated, if that doesn't get you fired up, I don't know what will. And this is exactly why it drives me nuts, and it should drive you nuts when people say that, oh, the markets are gambling. Oh, the markets are totally random. All the markets are manipulated. All the markets are insert some sort of, connotation that implies that, it is some form of gambling. Gambling, no, you can't be wrong 60% of the time. Let me put it this way. If you're wrong 60% of the time at a slot machine, you're definitely walking away empty-handed. You don't have any money. So 60% of the time wrong, but because they trained hard, because they learned to take a punch, aka manage risk, they still came out with $500. And a couple other little learning points here. First off, to offer up a little more context, they're a student of mine, so they're just making mention that they appreciate everything they've learned. So point here being, you gotta learn, you gotta put in the effort. And then right here, you are a great mentor, and I have to say, now TFP is my Trade and Freedom pathway, but it was a great investment. And this is what I've noticed about successful people, both in quote unquote real life, and then within the world of coaching and trading and helping others. And been doing this, if you're brand new, since 2013. So it's not like this YouTube channel just popped up yesterday, but I've been doing this a long time. And what I've noticed is people, they view their learning, they view their education not as a cost, but as an investment. So they say, well, I'm not going to pay to learn. I'm not going to pay for any sort of structured education. I mean, because that cost, no. Successful people look at it as, all right, well, if I invest that amount for structured learning, for structured training, do I think I can get a good return on that investment? And here you can see that person is very happy with it. Now, I also want to say this is not a sales pitch for my program. Now, of course, I would love if you decided to invest with me and allow me to guide you and help you in learning how to, manage risk and all that. But if there's somebody else out there that you're kind of on the fence with, I don't know, you should go with it. If you feel more comfortable with them compared to me, yeah, it's a bummer for me, but I respect that, and I want you to do what's best for you. But don't view education as a cost. You have to view it as an investment, and when you do that, there's great things that come from it. But yeah, go out there and find yourself a mentor. Would love for it to be me, but if not, you do what you think, or you go with who you feel most comfortable with. But I realize this is just one example. This could just be, all right, well, I don't know, Clay, maybe that was just, and that's fair point. So let's take a look at, and this was so beautiful. I did not plan this. In fact, the morning that I recorded this video, I woke up and on Instagram, I had this message right here. So yes, I posted this across social media, but on Instagram, I had this message right here. And this person's not a troll. They're clearly new because they didn't observe something, and I pointed this out to the person, but they say, hey, that's great, but please share all of losing live trades as well. And I understand that. I get it. Across social media, it seems as though some people never really are posting losing trades and stuff like that. So I get where they're coming from, but the ironic part here was that I actually did post a losing trade in this very same image. Right there, you can see that was a losing trade. But right there, market trying to break me, right? Oh, Clay, you had a winning trade, which that first trade up there was winning. Oh, now a losing trade. And, but not to pat myself on the back, but I managed the risk. I didn't do anything stupid. So I straight up denied. Nope, not going to happen. And still walked away with over $660. So again, losing trades, it's okay. You will be wrong. But just don't sit there and stay wrong. It's okay to be wrong, just don't stay wrong, because the minute you start to stay wrong is the minute things can really spiral out of control. But the tricky part is, well, how do I know when I should take the loss, right? I mean, just because something goes red doesn't mean that you're supposed to hop out, which is true. But those are the finer details of risk management and why it is so important to make an investment into yourself so that you can learn how to manage risk properly. But in this situation, like I said, I love the irony there. Perfect timing that, hey, can you show some losing trades? Yeah, I showed a losing trade in the very image you're replying on. But so hopefully that helps you out there, Jatin. And you can see that, yeah, right there was a losing trade. But at the end of the day, still walked away with over $600. Here's another one. Now, a little context here. I've done another video on this member. He's been on the podcast. And if you're not familiar, I offer a podcast, the Stock Trading Reality Podcast, if you want to search for it on iTunes or whatever. But point here being, I've done previous, webinars, and I've done previous videos and podcasts with this person. And in the video that you see there, I'll put, like I said, the link in the description area. You can actually see proof. So my point here is that, the results that they post, I didn't feel the need to find any, because they're pretty crazy results actually, but I didn't feel the need to, hey, give me more proof, or anything like that. They still sent it to me, which is just kind of, but I didn't feel the need to actually put in the video because, like I said, you can go to that video and you can click and you'll see a bunch of account misstatements that show how he's been doing a great job growing a small trading account. But the point here being, he made a comment in the chat room community that I offer, having a rough month. Now, I talked with him a bit outside of this image, so just to establish a little more context, rough means he was hustling, he was grinding, he was just fighting, taking punches, the market's trying to break him, but he was pretty much just treading water. It was a slugfest, and he was down right around $2,000 on the month. And then this trade rolled around, and in one trade, $10,880 in one trade. And just like that, a big, solid green month. The point here being, are you supposed to go out there and swing for the fences and find? No, and that's not what he was doing. He was just slugging it out. He was just fighting. And that's the goal of risk management. Manage risk, manage risk, manage risk, fight, manage risk. And then you never know when you might be in the right place at the right time. And in this situation, he happened to just be in Amazon at the right time. And if you're wondering, this is not Amazon stock. He was trading Amazon options, but he was there. And because he managed risk, because he never let anything get out of control. Yes, the markets were absolutely trying to break him. I mean, he was annoyed. He's right to be annoyed. I would be annoyed where you're, just swinging, punching, yet you're still down $2,000. And then all of a sudden, just like that, boom, up over $10,000 from one trade. But that is the power of risk management. That is the power of being able to control your risk and know how to just admit you're wrong and just keep on fighting. The goal here, keep yourself in the game, and you just never know when you're going to be in the right place at the right time, and you can really get, like I said, all it takes is one. Now, for many people, they have a bunch of wins. And then when you say all it takes is one loss and everything's gone. But the exact opposite is true when you're actually focused on managing risk. So yeah, manage risk. Now, if you like this video, before I go, hit that like button, please. That's a very quick, very efficient way to communicate to me. Hey, yeah, Clay, can you keep on making these types of videos? I like to see the real life results. So if you do like to see the results, not necessarily just from me, but other members, hopefully that's motivating. Hopefully it's inspirational. But like I said, hit that like button. Also, leave a comment below. Love to hear from you. If you have any comments or suggestions for future videos like this, would love to hear any suggestions. Always good to hear from people. And then also check out the channel as a whole. Lots of other types of video, live trade videos, and a variety of others. So hopefully you decide to ultimately become a subscriber to the channel. Would love to have you. And then if you are interested in joining the community, I've showed a bunch of screenshots from it, and these are all members of the program. Then just go to claytrader.com/team, and you can learn more about the private community and everything that entails. So I'd love to have you a part of the community. So thank you again for watching. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and thanks for hanging out. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.